Hi everyone, I'm Denise for Spiritual Growth Tarot, and this reading will be to see what Donald Trump will be up to for Tuesday, August the 11th. And I set the intention to know what he'll be doing with. I'm going to use this deck up here, which is the Ciro Marchetti's Tarot of Dreams, and the bottom deck down here will be, excuse me, it is the Anna K Tarot, and that one will tell us what he's experiencing. So, but what I was starting to say is that I set the intention to know what it is that he'll be doing that has any bearing, that has any consequences to us in the United States. So maybe not like what he's doing behind the scenes just, for himself, but how it affects us is what I want to know. So I'm going to draw 5 cards. And it might be like in the order of his, morning, afternoon, and evening. That's very possible. Okay. And then 5 cards for what he will actually be experiencing, whether we know or not, what's going on for him for the day. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, I have the 6 of Coins, of course. Doesn't that card come up just about every day for him? 6 of Coins, the Devil. Oh yes, of course. And so financial deals with the Devil, where he's tied into things that that are truly, affecting us in very, very negative ways. And and we're stuck with him. We've got this entanglement going on until we can get him out. Okay, so well, before I go on there, let's just lay out all the cards and get them framed up. And to all my tarot readers out there, you can probably start gathering some information just by looking at the cards. Okay, so this is what he'll be experiencing. Just throw here. Okay, and I don't normally read reversals just because I feel like there's enough negative energy in the deck, unless every once in a while I get a feeling to. But with him, he has so much negativity going on that I may read just about all of them in the inverted type of energy and consciousness, except for the Devil card, because if that were reversed, it would be being released from entanglements and from addictions, and so that's not the case with him. I mean, he truly has an addiction to making money and getting what he wants. So what he's actually doing behind the scenes is wheeling and dealing financially. His natural giving to get, his money laundering, especially with these 2 cards together. I believe it's an ongoing, just day for him where he, his, it shouldn't be called Trump International Organization. It should be called the Trump Crime Family, because that is exactly what they've all been doing. This, I believe, is Ivanka. So there's some way that he's probably funneling money to her, and maybe she knows how to get rid of it in a different way, that so that the whole family can keep it later on. Because remember, I've gotten before that they're all going to make their getaway to some other company without extradition, and I mean, at least we'll be gone. He'll be gone from us, and we'll be done with him. But whatever resorts are in America. So what is it? Bedminster in New Jersey. He does have the one down there in Palos Verdes. He's got the golf course down there in Palos Verdes at the old Marineland site. Yeah, and he has Doral, he has Mar-a-Lago. What else? I don't know if there's extradition in Scotland where that golf course is, and I think he's got something in Ireland. But anyway, all of his resorts that are in all of the Trump crime family's resorts that are in the United States, those assets will be seized. And when they make their getaway, they're not going to be able to to get that money back. But what he may be doing now is preparing for that and trying to get the as much money as he can out of the actual the company, the company. Well, yeah, the organization. So he's looking for more ways to do that. How do I get the money up and out? And they're thinking about travel plans already. They're thinking about travel plans. He's thinking about who will facilitate, who the bond will be, and how does he get, Don Jr. at least, because for sure he's going to go down with him legally, and Ivanka. Those two, absolutely. I don't know if maybe Eric might get away with not. For sure, Tiffany isn't implicated, but where are they going to go? This is it. This is all about it. It's the financial arrangements and agreements, and Ivanka is definitely helping him, and they're always looking for more ways and more relationships to do that. Now, this could be that it's his really tight bond with just he and Ivanka. That she does more underneath than we know of. But then again, we always have to tie her, even though there's no card here to relate to Jared. They're so tied together that, and he would absolutely have to go as well. So yeah, so I just see it as the family bond to take as much money as possible and to get it to their into their resort so that they can funnel it, well, they're already doing that with the money laundering. Why else would Deutsche Bank allow him to borrow over $2 billion with a B, $2 billion over, the last 20 years? Why would Deutsche Bank keep loaning him that much money if they weren't, helping him with the money laundering and, what have they done in the past to help him get to where he is? Because they have to all be in it together. Otherwise, he could not have gotten to this place, that he is. So that, it just looks to me like financial, again, I'm just repeating myself. I don't need to do it. Okay, what he'll be experiencing is because of these cards, he's experiencing a lack of strength, an unconscious, fake, phony strength that he doesn't, he doesn't really have. He doesn't have real strength. He's got the phony strength, and he's feeling very defended, and he's feeling pretty battle weary. The Nine of Wands is. It's pretty battle weary. It's like the warrior that's he's just about done. So again, we have Strength, Nine of Wands, the Fool, Knight of Cups, and the Ace of Wands. Or in this deck, it's Rods. So, and I hope you can see all these clearly up here. We had the Six of Coins, Six of Pentacles, the Devil, Queen of Wands, Two of Wands, and the Two of Cups. But down here, for what he'll be experiencing for the day, is a lack of strength, feeling beat up. He has done quite a bit of travel over the weekend. He had his little stunt at his golf course where, he interviewed, or he did his little, what do you call it, not a State of the Union, but he did his meeting, and he did what he would normally do at the White House. He did at his golf course in front of his members who pay $350,000, and he gave. Then later on, he gave his little speech about how he was He did a signing. Maybe that was there all at the same place. I don't know. I have a really hard time watching him, and I tend to read more because then that way I don't have to look at him and hear his voice. But from what I gathered, he has put himself in the position of not being able to, what he's doing, what he's trying to do to get people to, or get money to people to compensate for the lack of, the McConnell and the Democrats coming together. So let's say McConnell and Pelosi, or let's say the lack of Mitch McConnell to give a rat's behind for anyone else. Because of that not happening, for more COVID relief, because of all of that, he's decided to step in and act like he's really strong, but he's not. And what he has done is, because only Congress legally can allocate funds. And when he stepped in and said that he's doing this and this and this with his executive order, it's not legal for him to do that. So it, of course, is very, very foolish. But I see this as what he's going to be doing for the day, or what he's going to be experiencing for the day, based on what he's done over the weekend. And I'm reading this on Monday, so I don't know yet what he's doing on Monday. Although I could go back and look at my reading from a couple days ago for Sunday, or Sunday for Monday, but I don't remember what it is, honestly. So, it's always hindsight that I see, oh, that's what that card meant, and it's been pretty accurate. It's come through pretty accurately, so I'm happy about that. But what he's really experiencing is a lack of strength, which is why he felt like he had to do, what he did. And he's feeling, by Tuesday, he'll be pretty beat up about it. By Tuesday night, he'll be feeling pretty beat up about it, because he's going to understand that he doesn't have the authority to do what he says that he did. He's signed all kinds of things, but they're just things that, his staff typed up for him. He's not really allowed to do what he has done on a financial level. It's, pretty much what he does is not in alignment with our Constitution, which is why there are so many lawsuits against him. So this feeling like he wants to get away is the main theme for the day for him on Tuesday. Feeling like he wants to get away because he's feeling really beat up and he's feeling very weakened. And then with the Knight of Cups, this brings in this, I'm going to read this in the inverted energy, as well as the Fool. I mean, he's not on some grand adventure into a new chapter of his life. He's not following his call. He's not, it's not a new page for him. What it is that he's been very foolish, and he's wanting to run away at all costs, because he's feeling really, really beat up. So this makes sense with all of this down here. This we could even look at this as being the foundation for the cause of all of this, all of this, funneling money behind the scenes and trying to get it out of his resorts into some, Cayman Island account or Seychelles account, offshore, that he can tap into later. And he needs relationships in order to do that, of course. So his wanting to get away, and then with the Knight of Cups into an inverted energy and consciousness of this card, we're looking at a teenager. We're looking at somebody who is codependent and dependent. There's a dynamic of dependency and codependency here within, being dependent on other relationships for him to move forward. So what he's experiencing is, I just got a hit on when he was 13 and sent away to military school because, he couldn't And he says he acts like it was a good experience and that he liked it, but he was sent away, and astrologically that happened when Saturn hit his south node in Sag, and his freedom was taken away from him. I guess by that time his parents just couldn't handle him anymore, and so they sent him away to military school, and he has wounding. And when he has wounding because of that, of course. And when he was elected, Saturn again was at that south node point. So, and his moon is conjunct his south node. So it's all about, this emotional teenager who didn't really get what he wanted from his family, of course. And so he, has taken all of his life force and put it into the wrong channels, away from happiness and just into accumulating wealth, because he thinks that he grew up learning that that's the only way that he could be seen and heard or appreciated, approved of on some level. When you don't get love, you go towards something else because there's such a real need, there. And all his life he's never had that need fulfilled. It's all fake. It's all a fake strength, a fake facade, and he's tied up in that. It's just, he's chained in. He could get out himself if he'd face all the feelings and the pain and turn it all around and deep down inside get in touch with who he is. But who knows, this lifetime he may have come in such alignment with the dark forces that's the reason that he, or darkness, whatever you want to call it, that could be the reason that he, because I believe we choose our parents. So he chose, the father, he chose the mother, he chose all of this, to rewound him in the way that he needed to be rewounded so that he could come to terms with it. Every lifetime is like that, and you don't get out of that until you finally face the pain and turn around and find your own divinity within and get in touch with your higher self and understand your higher self intention for incarnating into that family. So because he hasn't done that, it's, he's still just hooked in. He's hooked in and into this very immature place. We see the wounding of the toddler and the teenager. We see that with him, all the time. And he does have the facade. There's a big, like lower self mask that is pretty, it looks to be polished. He can say the right things most of the time, and then other times he just completely loses it because, of course, Alzheimer's is kicked in, and that is a hereditary pattern in his family. So that's what we're witnessing a lot of the times. And then other times he has some clarity, and you think, that was interesting, but it's all a facade. It's the distorted energy of the strength card is a facade of strength and moving, through your life from a very unconscious place. And he does think that he has to be strong. I mean, it's come through with Mary Trump's book that his, in their family it was considered a weakness to be vulnerable, a weakness to show any, lack of strength. So this fake strength is definitely coming through. And the wounded teenager, the wounded, adolescent. So, and then he probably later on in the evening, this could just be him feeling like lots of energy and getting away. Now, if this were in the inverted energy too, it would be a real crash and burn experience. But yeah, wanting to escape, feeling very weak and beat up, wanting to escape. Because he's in touch with that teenage, adolescent place. He's in touch with that pain of being rejected and going back to. He's a little bit in touch with that, or it could be. Now, this very well could be that he's unconsciously reacting. That makes more sense to me. That he's unconsciously reacting and acting out from that wounded teenager, but it's all very murky, and he doesn't understand, what these feelings are. Gosh, if he just would have done his own work, he could have turned everything around, but he just hasn't done that. So his experience has to be, you know, the battle-weary teenage place that has to be in this like just vicious circle constantly happening. And I really feel like the Ace of Wands is not in the upright energy. It would be more of like a reversal of the life force, because the life force is spinning in this battle, this inner battle. Goodness, boy, you know, he could turn it all around if he ever wanted to, but at this point, it's turned into a complete legal battle, because at some point he does have to experience his loss of power, because he has put his power in all the wrong directions all his life. Yeah, okay. Well, that's all I have for Donald Trump for August the 11th. Okay. Thanks, you guys. I love your comments and questions. I take good care, and I'll be back soon.